Sometimes the road to mental health can feel like an overwhelming quest on a chaotic planet of junk with nothing but a sarcastic robot for company. Thanks to today's sponsor, BetterHelp, you can have help to banish the claptrap and move toward positive changes with your mental health. Whether you are new to your mental health journey or a seasoned introspective communicator, BetterHelp is designed to connect you with the right therapist to support your path. Access to BetterHelp is easy, which is very helpful during the stressful times of the year like spring, when cleaning and organization expectations return like pollen on the breeze. Did you know that the majority of BetterHelp members seek support for anxiety, and 69% of members report improved anxiety symptoms after just 6 weeks of therapy? Nice! With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform you can trust. Let BetterHelp help you rule your anxiety so it doesn't rule you. Try BetterHelp today by going to betterhelp.com/CinemaSins and get 10% off your first month. "46 seconds of logos."
Long ago,
There was narration.
our galaxy was ruled by an alien race called the Iridians,
What?
whose power and technology were far beyond human comprehension.
That sounds like something that will be used to gloss over all kinds of shit, and I don't like it.
Though they disappeared ages ago, they left behind fragments of their technology,
Allspark? Motherbox?
a prophecy
Goddamn prophecies.
that one day a daughter of Iridia would open the vault and restore order to the broken planet.
A prophecy claiming the One will arrive and restore order, aka balance? Now, where have I heard that before?
God damn! There's no air holes in there. What a stupid helmet.
Welcome to the first of many self-aware meta comments this movie will make without realizing it just doesn't have the space balls to pull it off.
My dad sent you.
That's right.
His shortest soldier.
His shortest soldier to save his least funny daughter.
Yay for witty banner, I guess, but what she said could objectively be true and not necessarily an insult. What he said was extremely subjective and honestly mean.
Catch!
Oh, I see. This is one of those movies where I don't have to be invested in any of the fight scenes, because the characters always have time for one-liners instead of actually being concerned about dying.
Big stormtrooper ass bitch!
With that line and the stack of white lights behind her, I'm now thinking this movie is intentionally aping Star Wars. And that's even worse.
What do you say, man, you be friends?
The guards should have tried this approach first because it works immediately. Wow, I'm honestly impressed. This is the most useless title card I think I've seen in all of film history. But, sorry, I can't let it go at just that. Let's break that down a bit. 50 light years away tells me nothing, except meanwhile in a different place. We're not even 5 minutes into this story, half of which has been logos and narration cliches so common they make common when a change's name to less common than Borderlands opening narration cliches. We have no idea how fast beings and ships in this universe can travel 50 light years. Could be years, could be a blink. We learn nothing new about the place we now are at because the on-screen title is more interested in making jokes and referencing distances. What's different here? Are there different rules? Different races? Did I even spend enough time with the prison escape to even know for sure that this isn't what that planet would look like on the outside? This tech title is a middle finger to basically everyone. Okay, that doesn't change anything I said before, you know that, right? Also, Pandora, Promethea. I feel like we're eventually going to see planets in this movie named things like Jurassica and Terminatoria 2.
Of course, we can't all be the daughter of Iridia.
Upon rewatching, you'll appreciate this line more because you'll know that Lilith is the daughter of Iridia. Then you can pat yourself on the back and wonder where it all went so wrong that you found yourself watching Borderlands a second time. Oh no, they paid Oscar winner Cate Blanchett enough to be dragged into this film.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
The visual effects in this movie are so good that I can't even see the person pulling the string in her back that activates these pre-recorded cliches.
I heard you were quite the crusty old...
Putting your nose within elbow f***ing distance of the bounty hunter you're about to insult.
Hey!
When everyone has guns, does anyone really have guns? In case you hadn't noticed, the movie that is either ripping off or paying tribute to Star Wars just had its "he doesn't like you, I don't like you either" scene. Slow clapping.
These gentlemen work, or should I say, worked for me.
We often sin characters for not shooting the villain when they have the opportunity, but it's somehow more frustrating when they do shoot them and it doesn't f***ing matter.
My daughter has been kidnapped, and I need her returned to me.
I've never seen that in a movie before.
Let me tell you everything you need to know about Pandora.
Movie spends 1 hour and 38 minutes of its first act narrating at me about Pandora.
It's the kind of place you don't ever want to return to.
Well, make a shitty enough movie about it and the box office will make sure that you never have to. What's in the vault?
Scavenger kids, barely scraping out a living. They told me Tina and the soldier passed through weeks ago.
And we have no idea why these desperate kids decided to help Lilith, or what she gave them in return, because the movie seems to think narrating these events in the past tense is more interesting than showing them.
Well, hello, brave Vault Hunter!
Man, there's so much Vault talk, you'd be forgiven for thinking you were in a Fallout adaptation for a minute, till you remember how awesome Amazon's Fallout adaptation is and realize how much better it is than this claptrap nonsense.
So, you've come in search of the secret, lost vault of the Iridians.
This movie has so much lore to share with us that they should really adapt it into something more interactive. I don't know, like a video game where the information can be communicated to us more organically. Okay, but if that bump isn't there, she never gets her bag back. It's like this movie watched a bunch of good, well-paced movies and then said, "F you, I'm gonna go at my own pace," because that's what worked for Vincent Gallo. A chirpy robot is now spying on her on a desert planet. I did not foresee that coming. Getting a DNA match just by looking at the back of someone's head. Also, Claptrap has a list of directives here, and one of them is to provide jokes and one-liners, a directive he will fail to follow throughout the movie.
Scanning.
Jack Black has been here not even 2 minutes, and I'm already exhausted, which is coincidentally something often overheard at Hollywood parties. Claptrap said their destination was only 132 days on foot, but even by vehicle, this movie is glossing over a lot of journey.
I just gotta let him know
What's
that
the
I
problem?
got you
Get
safe
my
and
stuff.
What an organic way to find this stack of TNT after what appeared to be a totally natural fumble and in no way staged for the purposes of exposing this TNT at all.
You little...
Well, I'm relieved. Lilith surviving this means I don't have to be invested at all when she's faced with bombs, gunfire, decapitation, or anything that seems remotely dangerous. This should be a very rewarding experience. After bitching about being locked in this cage and hating it so much he begged for her to drain his battery, this motherfucker could just give it a good bop all along. Remember back at the bar when Lilith used some epic gunslinging against those bodyguards? I wish Lilith did, because that shit was way more badass than falling backwards while completely missing the giant meat target who was mostly naked.
Shoot him in the face!
That's a terrible idea. Shoot him in the not armored parts. I'm sure something impressive is happening here, but the editors have decided to use the length and breadth of their expertise to hide it behind several dozen cuts.
Ooh, mine's bigger.
Damn it, where is that string-pulling extra?
You in what army?
The one right behind me.
They hung back just in case there was an opportunity for me to introduce them this way. It leaves me very vulnerable and it rarely pays off, but it's so cool when it does.
Catch.
Will you be my friend?
Bombs that taunt the enemy just long enough to allow them to realize they're holding a bomb, instead of just being a bomb that blows them up immediately.
Come on!
Why grab Tina by the removable bunny ears? Lilith does know they're not actual ears, right? Wait, they're not actual ears, right? Claptrap is screaming about being left behind, but he's keeping up with them just fine.
Hey, no pressure or anything, but I'd love to come inside!
Thing I said to my college girlfriend.
All units, you are now weapons-free!
I suppose they either have bullets that know to dodge Tina, or Nox is unaware that Atlas needs Tina alive. Neither option seems likely. The bad guys can't hit anything, and the good guys hit basically everything. Movies!
Bowling underwear!
I really hate this movie.
I told you to drive. Damn it.
Why aren't you still up top manning the gun? Wait, why did all the bad guys stop shooting? Also, I see we've entered the movie's Mad Max Fury Road cosplay section.
Where are we?
Pisswash Gully.
AKA Jacksonville.
Everybody buckle up. I got a plan.
I got a plan cliche. I bet after he does something insane, one of these other characters in the vehicle will even say, "That was your plan?" and everything. That is not how the physics of firing rockets into a monster's mouth shortly before you jump a vehicle into the monster's mouth so that you can get out the other side of the monster's head after the explosion works.
You call that a plan?
Close enough, I told you.
They should be after us by now.
Stingrays won't pursue without ground support.
That makes very little logistical sense, but it sure does work out nicely for you, doesn't it?
Roland didn't kidnap me. He saved me.
You mean the narrative the obviously evil Atlas sold Lilith turned out to be a lie?
Do you know how many people have died looking for that hole in the dirt? Well, I do. My mother was one of them.
Of course she was.
It was her idea to break Tina out and collect the keys.
Okay, but why do you give a shit, small soldier? Sure, he said,
Whatever's in that vault, a man like Atlas can never get his hands on.
but why does this matter to him? Give me a dead wife or kidnapped dog or something. Movie appears to be overestimating how invested I'll be in a character just because they're played by Kevin Hart.
All right, mask up. We want to keep a low profile.
But only from the neck up and not including the bunny ears.
Cannibal Frog Convention!
You can put a mask on a psycho, but you cannot mask their behavior. But it's not going to get them caught here. It's just used for comedy.
Never seen you before, stranger.
Nice try, Miss Vladoff Infinity. I never forget a gun.
It is wild that the fucking holstered gun is the thing he recognizes and not the bright orange hair.
I knew it was you! Oh my god!
This guy recognized Roland in a digital mask from behind.
You probably don't remember me, but I sure remember you.
That feels like a cliche. I feel like a lot of movies do the "you don't remember me, but I sure remember you" thing. In fact, I'm going to make a call on this right now. This is a cliche. You shall not do the "you don't remember me, but I sure remember you" thing without acknowledging that it's a cliche. Of course, this movie has fucking holograms, god damn it.
Echo. Echo. Echo.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the extent of what this movie has to offer in terms of cleverness. Cleverness. Cleverness.
You can trust me. We're friends, man. I'm not going to tell a soul.
This is the most obvious gun reach I can imagine. I don't know how the Crimson Grunt Bobby thought he was being remotely sly.
Who knew electricity provoked defecation?
Anyone that has done any learning or reading about the death penalty.
Maybe you gotta echo the echo. Echo! Echo!
I can't believe that worked. If only because it's going to make Tina even more insufferable.
So you trust this woman? She's a xenoarchaeologist, all right?
Not all right. You didn't just avoid the question. You traveled, double dribbled, and traveled again, only to throw the question into the air in the hopes that someone else would volunteer to grab and answer it.
Special one.
That's what they said about Ryan Leaf, though. Oh no, they paid Oscar winner Jamie Lee Curtis enough to be dragged into this film.
It's what your mother wanted. She wanted me to learn how to kill by the age of 10, how to survive.
Semantics. And this is as good a time as any to add a sin to the world for the semantics pop rock group never becoming a thing despite the incredible demo. Jenny won't play fair, not with her toys. She just covers her ears and goes na 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 na.
I don't care. I grew up in a lab.
Why not?
I'm just a product.
All children of family influencers.
Hey there, sugar chips.
And I honestly thought there would never be a space robot so annoying it could challenge C-3PO for the crown, and yet here we are.
Never trust a man who can't hold his liquor.
That is a dumb fucking motto. I knew this kid in college who was a chess grandmaster and was 3 years younger than me, but working on his second doctoral degree, and he couldn't drink more than one beer before passing out for the night, allowing us to play Super Bomberman on his Super NES for hours while he snored behind us. Sliding in an Area 51 reference that only the internet nerds who freeze frame movies for a living would be able to catch. Back up, is that the fucking bus driver from earlier? God damn, this movie is giving you the finger at every turn. Escaping via the trash is so on the nose, it's fucking offensive. This movie has nothing original to say outside of Star Wars riffs.
Is there any way out of here that doesn't involve garbage?
Thing Kate Blanchett said when trying to get out of her contract for this movie somehow makes it into the script. Shit, boss, we forgot to have them actually face any video game-like challenges. Just make whatever they're walking on start falling apart suddenly. Brilliant.
It's bloodshots.
Yeah, their symbols are everywhere.
I take back my earlier comment. I don't hate this movie. I want it to die. I want it to die a very painful and awful death, like that poor assistant turned babysitter gal in Jurassic World. I want this movie to get absolutely f***ed over by every possible thing, person, or animal that could f*** it up. I want it sprayed by a skunk, poisoned by ivy, taloned by an eagle, bit by a snake, pricked by a porcupine, hit by a car, shot by a sniper, mauled by the bear that f***ed Leo, chopped by the axe blade of a hot Instagram metalworking influencer, chewed by my favorite golden retriever from TikTok, pissed on by an entire herd of elephants, smashed by a YouTube famous hydraulic press, frozen in an iceberg, pooled waters, and then dropped from the stratosphere into the heart of the Himalayas, abandoned and forgotten among the frozen human remains between the Hillary Step and the summit push of Mount Everest.
These are the psychos other psychos are afraid of.
But the psycho of my psycho is my friend, I thought, right?
Dealt with bloodshots before?
Oh, look, there's a rabid group of anarchists who like f***ed up shit, worship chaos, and are nondescriptly unhinged. What a unique slice of apocalypse we're seeing here. Here's a nervous character being overly nervous while trying to sneak past or through a group of enemies while trying not to alert them, and God, this movie just made the most reductive, bland choice possible at every single turn. God damn, Hyperion has apparently created metal plating that is 100% bulletproof and capable of surviving multiple rounds of fire, and yet everyone isn't wearing this shit as armor. Some genius thought its best application was protecting a Jack Black bot.
So the key is in one of these crates. One of these kabillion crates.
This is just like the beginning of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the... Wait, just a minute, Kate Blanchett, who is in both movies. You are wanted for sin questioning. Here's a robot shitting out bullets that I guess it's been swallowing? I was under the impression bullets just didn't harm him, but He's been somehow ingesting them, no matter what part of his robot body he gets hit in? Honestly, you ask one or two honest questions about this bullet-pooping sight gag, and it all falls apart faster than Ross and Emily's marriage. Finally, a scene in the movie that feels like the video game, in that I am completely disoriented and have no idea who's doing what and where and to who. It's wild how quickly this movie's villain core basically turned into zombies, isn't it? Why is Krieg such a better fighter than all the other psychos he encounters? F you.
Roland, what are you doing?
Fixing it.
Get back here!
What a pointless fucking non-sacrifice. It's not like he's Doc Browning that shit. He's taping it together, which means he has all the time to get back into the elevator. Look how hard they go trying to make you think he's dead. But a real movie would have made his sacrifice mean something more than buying a few seconds for them to maybe ascend using a decrepit elevator. It would have let his sacrifice guarantee a life or more. Anyway, this movie sucks and it should feel bad.
Teleportation! I can move stuff with my mind, y'all.
Sleeping this close to a fire.
That was a phase walk.
Actually, that was teleportation. A phase walk allows you to turn invisible and become immune to damage. You see, the thing is, I haven't even played the fucking game, and I managed to learn that easily Googleable shit. So why does the movie care less than I do about getting this right for the fans?
When the daughter of Iridia places the key, the pieces are consumed and the vault opens.
Another alien species with a penchant for bizarre scavenger hunts. The Iridians want to protect the world from anyone who would abuse their technology, so they hid it all in a vault that only a special Iridian can open. But what's the point of the keys? If they're useless without an Iridian, what does finding them prove? Does the Iridian daughter become more worthy by finding the keys? Just once I'd like to be at the table when they're coming up with the shit so I can partake in the edibles.
Well, we have no choice. Either we take her or Atlas does.
Or you destroy the pieces of the key forever so that no one gets the tech. Why isn't that an option again?
I scavenged the final parts I needed from a dead transformer.
Silly robot. Transformers never die. They always live long enough to see themselves become the villain or get rebooted by Michael Bay.
The Crimson Lands are on the way to collect her now.
Is a thing that you have no reason to give her a heads up is happening.
And when this is over, you'll be paid what we agreed on.
What movie is complete without the someone overhears a portion of a conversation and misconstrues the entire conversation meaning thing? Shit. Been doing this since the first talkies. They didn't light too many candles in here, I guess, but they sure did make some fucking weird choices about which candles they lit.
I know this place.
Lilith and Claptrap stumble upon her childhood home because, well, there's no reason at all other than sheer good luck. What's really wild is that the movie gave her a fucking robot that could have been programmed to subtly guide her here. Instead, he appears to be just as in the dark as she is. Turns out Lilith's mom could have just set up a DVD player in their old home, left this message playing on a loop, and all would have been well.
Mom?
Secret holographic messages hidden in the droid. Are we really doing this? Even if the movie is either paying homage or being incredibly cheeky, enough already with the Star Wars.
If you're seeing this,
I'm dead cliche.
I've made sure that Claptrap will find you, help you understand your destiny. I wish I could hold you one last time.
Holy Christ, she couldn't have just told her what her destiny was?
Freak, you genius! You found it!
He's a moron, and he only found it because the map led you all here, and he looked down. That's the extent of his genius. He looked down.
I have to warn you, this might kill you.
Saying this shit too late!
Nah, kid. I'm the special one. Whatever this is, it's gonna make me invincible.
Premature messiahbration. Roland shows up to save the day, and wouldn't it have been better to see this if we still thought he was dead? I mean, the stupid among us still thought he was dead instead of you showing that scene earlier about him still being alive. They'd enjoy this reveal a lot more.
No! No!
No.
Because I'm the daughter of Iridia.
Well, I'm not all that surprised if I'm honest. But I'll pretend I am so the movie feels good. It's like when I asked for a take-home box for my leftovers at a restaurant, even though I hated the food and won't eat the leftovers, but I thought the waitress was pretty.
You open the vault, and you all go free. You have my word.
Can Tina not take off the fucking bunny ears for even a single emotional goodbye? Oh shit, it's Garignac. Oh shit, she's Dark Phoenixing.
The legends were true. She's the Firehawk.
I'm so surprised and overwhelmed with awe that I simply can't process all the terrible CGI going on before my eyes.
You guys shooting? I'm sorry, I didn't feel a thing.
Why is Firehawk's main power giving people around her invincibility? I don't deny it's awesome, but her name is Firehawk, not like Protection Sparrow. Falling to Earth after a confrontation in the air above. This movie is everything that has happened before in other movies. Oh shit, she's Captain Marveling. Everyone we care about survives this.
No!
It says a lot about your lazy-ass movie when I don't even give two shits about the evil villain getting his comeuppance. He wanted to kill his own daughter to access a vault, and I barely disliked him. That's poor character work.
That, I think, is what peace sounds like.
Why is there suddenly peace? Does everyone suddenly not care about the vault anymore? Why does Lilith getting superpowers fix Pandora's problems? Isn't it still a shithole? Aren't the psychos still psycho killers? Qu'est-ce que c'est, movie? Qu'est-ce que c'est? It's like the end of Ocean's 11, only that movie was good.
Whoops! Premature celebration!
Holy shit, Claptrap watches CinemaSins.
I'm a bit old, I think, to be setting myself on fire for your amusement.
I don't know, Lilith. Lionsgate seemed happy to set fire to $140 million for no one's amusement. This is a budget versus box office joke, and the fact that I even felt compelled to explain it says everything. This fucking movie fucking thought we wanted more of this fucking robot during the fucking credits, and movie was wrong.
It will be as though you never existed.
My dad sent you.
That's right.
His shortest soldier.
You're such a bad person. Like, all the way through to your core.
Take me back to my soul, please!
Come on!
Surprise, motherfucker!
Shame! Shame! Shame!
I'd like to take his face off.
This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
The murderer is here.
Could you turn this shit off?
First, you must find the keys.
Would you like to know more?
Find her. She was last seen outside Firestone.
I just love scanning for life forms. Life forms. You tiny little life forms.
You probably don't remember me, but I sure remember you.
I sure as heck fire remember you.
She tased me. All right. Don't tase me, bro!
I'd like to tell you to take a copy of your policy to Norma Wilcox.
Wait!
Leroy Jenkins!
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Hey, Dad. You son of a bitch.
Nobody kills me but me!
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.